Well, hey folks, I'm Pete Collins and I am playing the back nine of Lake Howard out at Sylacauga. Now this course was designed by my buddy, James Hopkins, and it's a beautiful course. Lots of hill elevation changes. It's just beautiful, but definitely make sure you bring your water and your hiking shoes, because if you think Inverness is hilly, this one's got it beat. So anyway, we're gonna keep going and hopefully you'll join me on the back nine right after the intro. All right, so hole 10 combines, you just basically got one tee pad and you're just going to whichever basket's out there. We're going for B, so it's 260. It's just right there. Boy, that stinky little tree right in front makes it a little touchy to run at it. By the way, I'm playing with an all remix bag, except for I have the range from Streamline, which is MVP as well. And so we're just going along playing with this. If you want to see what I'm throwing, check out the front. And yeah, we're just gonna keep going. I think I'm gonna pull out the Eldritch again. And now the 100-foot descent down to the valley, they then climb another 60 feet back up. Oh, I didn't mention this on the first video, but I believe James has got this set up where you can do a 9-hole loop where you're not just stuck out way back here for if you only want to play 9 holes. You can switch up, like the holes play around each other pretty well, so you're not just trapped. Once you go out, you're never going to get back until you finish 18, so that's a good call. I also didn't take in consideration the wind coming off the water that just lifted that disc and carried it over the basket. I was wondering why it got so high. You're high. Ooh. The other sad thing is I know I'm going to have to go back down this hill and go back up the other hill. It's a lot of hill. And let's face it, you'd rather be a little short on your drive, so you're putting uphill rather than downhill. Of course, that's slick. It hurts no matter what. Oh, that dirty, dirty ring. It went in, was dropping down, that ring just went. Oh, dynamic disc, you did me wrong. I was getting ready to stand up. I was happy with that shot. That one hurt a little. I better be careful. I don't know where all the roots and stuff are out here. I could break an ankle. They'd find me 3 days later. All right, well, how about this? We're on hole 11. It's a par 4, 315 feet. But I have a feeling elevation is coming into play on this one. Just a little guess. I thought I was gonna hit that stump. So any of y'all planning to go climb Everest, this might be a good place to start, just to start small. Woo, these uphills are no joke. I gave that a decent pull, and if that thing's 350, there's no way that's 350. Yeah, no, well, doesn't matter, I'm still 8,500 feet out. Nice. So this is that weather where I climb up a hill and I get sweaty. And I'm like, oh, I should take this long sleeve off. But it's that wet cold that as soon as you stop walking, you can feel the chill coming back. So I got to keep the long sleeve on, but I'm just right on that edge of hot and cold. Still sad about that bounce out. So we're passing by hole 6. So you see how these holes will crisscross each other so you can do different loops. Looks like a long straight one to me. Either A or B. So it's either 335 or 370. I think it's B, so we're going 378. Sure, no problem, it's just right there. So this hole is what, 60 feet longer than the last one, and it's a par 3. I'm not complaining, I'm just thinking how funny it is that terrain makes such a big difference. Let's try the Spartan. I thought I threw it farther than that. I mean, it's a good throw, but I was expecting a little closer to the basket, to be honest. I was thinking it was going to get out past the trees and around into that open spot. It didn't even make it. I mean, granted, I was throwing a 9 speed because I just don't have a flippy high speed. And I wanted that high as a flip. So I got to give myself a little grace, but man, in my mind, it was going farther. I tell you what, this is a sneaky hole because just it's so tight, you could hit something early and really struggle scrambling. Woo. Oh, God. I just stepped on the end of a stick and the rest of it jumped up out of the leaves like a, I don't even know, a vampire snake or something just came up, almost like Chevy Chase when he hit the hoe in the attic. I mean, it popped up. I thought something was attacking me. That one got my heart rate going. Let's face it, even though you're out at a park, you know, when you're by yourself and you know not really anybody's out here, and all of a sudden something jumps or something moves that you're not expecting, you're kind of on a little heightened alert. That one got me good. Now we're going to A basket. 471, par 4. Boy, this is probably where a good forehand would come in play. And I'm gonna stick with my backhand. Boy, I was so close to making that gap. This is definitely one where you want to be with the locals, figure out what they're throwing, and then copy them. The slope in these leaves make it slick coming down here. Well, it's coming through here nicely, and I just caught one of these trees. That's one of those I would have liked to seen how it ended up, just for the knowledge. Well, that certainly could have ended a lot worse. Settle, settle. These leaves are the perfect level of dryness where they are slicker than snot. It's just shoo, shoo, shoo. I tell you what, you better get used to putting with drop-offs behind you because you're gonna have plenty of them out here. Well, so this is the blue tee pad and that's the red tee pad. Quite a bit of difference between the blue and the red. Yeah, 250 feet, all downhill, water on the left. What could go wrong there? I'm so upset I have to go to the red. All right, par 4. We're going to C, so it's 420. So it feels like James is not penalizing you for distance. In other words, he's not making it so hard by putting it out of reach. If you can hit the gaps, you can score well, but if you don't, you're sunk. I think he's done a very fair job of rating these as par 3s and par 4s. You know, there's a big push to make everything so hard. Oh my gosh, you know, 700 feet, par 3. He's done a good job of mapping out the distances, I think. That being said, all I see is a wall of trees for this, so you suck, James. The odds of hitting a tree and ricocheting into the water are high. So I'm pulling out my Ronin, which is red, which it's kind of a double trouble for this. If I hit a tree, it's gone, but I can afford to lose this one because I can't see it. I'm gonna lose it. And so I'm just gonna rip something over here and try to get it to the right, and hopefully it's gonna open up once I get over there. But man, there's not really, oh, actually that's not a bad little gap right there. All right. Once again, this may be ugly. Sit. I think it's right on the edge of the water. It may have gone in. That Ronan's got a little more fight in it than I thought at the end. I really liked my throw and thought I'd hit the right line, and it just faded at the end. A little harder than I wanted. Oh, tree down. Wow, 2 pretty big ones. Here's a random thought. Have you ever had this thought? Probably not, because you're not goofy like me. I've always wanted to hit a dead tree with a disc, and that was just the right amount of hit. I mean, it was gonna fall no matter what, but you hit it with the disc and all of a sudden the tree falls over. That's a story you tell. Yeah, I took that tree out with my backhand. Sorry, that's just where my mind goes. But anyway, moving on. We're gonna pretend I never said that. It's not looking good for the Ronin. All right, let's go hunting. Okay, I don't want to talk about how long it took me to find this disc. I told you, if you haven't checked out my how to find lost discs, it works, but it hurts when you're colorblind and when they get sneaky. I was just about to go back to the T-pad and remark where I thought it went, and I came down here. I don't know if you can see it. It's standing perfectly vertical in that grass right there. I just caught the light off it just right and happened to see it. Some people ask when I choose to flick and when I choose to backhand. A lot of times it's the closer in I'll do that, but also the wind. So this wind is coming hard off of here. So if I did a flick putt, it would push, and if I missed, it could hit the basket or whatever and roll into the water. So I just wanted to keep it nice and low and straight. So even if the wind hit it, it's just gonna squash it down instead of, as soon as you get it more on edge, it becomes like a sail. So that's why I'd rather do that than that, with that wind coming off the water. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I've been dreading this hole because this is just vertical. So here's the view from from the blue. And even if we're going for A, which is 336, it's a par 4. Because look how straight up the hill it's going. All right, we're going to A, 299, par 4. I don't know, maybe 100-foot elevation. It's a lot. So the wider gap is here, but you lose distance, but that's a smarter play. Hey Pete, you threw it 150 feet? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I feel like I just threw it over a tree. I'm curious to know the slope angle on this thing. So 45, maybe 50. It's gonna get steeper as we go too. I feel like that alpine climber on Price is Right. Am I gonna fall over the end? You know, I said bring good climbing shoes. Yeah, good shoes. I'd bring some ice climbing shoes. Crampons? I'm getting a cramp. Oh, I yanked it. Chicken. I was worried about having to give it too much juice. This does not count. Yeah, Pete. I knew I was gonna have to chunk that range, and I just gave it too much, rolled it over. Poop. I didn't drive through with my wrist and give that spin. I rolled over. Let's face it, I'm not using my normal putter, so I'm trying to putt as little as possible. Whew. Thought I missed that one, dang it. Keeping me on my toes. That is for dang sure. See, I wanted that, not that. Oh good, more hill. Looks like the future site of a new T-pad. Just to give you a little perspective, I'm right at the 2-hour mark, and that's with me doing camera stuff, fiddling around or whatever. He has it rated that it's about a 2.5-hour loop to play this course, and I think that's about right. We're going to basket B. You can see it right there. Once again, missing my berg. With this wind, I'm going to go with the range instead of the Eldritch. Range is just a little more flippy than the berg. Missed that tree. It slid by a tree and I don't know how it ended up. I think it's going to be okay. Oh yeah, oh yeah. That makes me happy. Those are the kind of putts I want. I'm not gonna lie though, I'm tired. This is one of those where it's a distance away, so you might want to plan to come out and have a lunch, maybe play 2 rounds, but you gotta bring your electrolytes and your your aspirin and stuff like that, because it's a good circuit. Definitely worth a day to come, take a day and come out here. But maybe play the reds and then the blues, or the blues and the reds. But yeah, it's a hike up and down. All right, so it's just right there, 196 right there. Looks like just a drop. Almost tempted to do a tomahawk, but oh, too much. Settle down, settle down, settle down. Wow, that went 70 by, maybe longer. That's a short little drop off. That's a crash. I'm gonna throw one more just to test it. Even that went a little too far. Wow, that's hard to control. This is one where you'd have to find that just right disc and throw it and get the pace just right. A couple of times throwing it and you get it dialed in, but look how steep it is to get it to go down that steep and stop right there. So going out here, it's just carrying it past the basket. Maybe a forehand flick around this guy. Forehand flick is redundant. Let's get on some less, slick stuff. I'm sliding. That's my first fall. Slid pretty good. Fortunately, I was low enough to the ground. It was more of a slide than a plunk. I wasn't trying to run. It's just the inertia carrying you down on these slick leaves. I landed on my buttocks. I tried to throw this joker soft. That's how far away I was. This guy was definitely better, second shot. Like I said, you kind of get it dialed in. So here we have 18 blue, and it's a par 4 out here and then to the right. But I love UDIS shows that I need to go to the red tee pad, which has a line going right across the water. So I'm gonna have to put on my Jesus shoes and work on my miraculous travel to get over there. No, you just walk down around the water to get to the red tee. But I love where UDIS went. Yeah, just go there. Swim across the moat, you got it. All right, for this last one, we're going to B from the blue, so 465. So we're going out here across and over there. So I'm trying to go up the hill there. I just got to miss the water, throw into hopefully that gap, so I've got a good shot up the hill. Well, I'm gonna be safe. Not spectacular, but safe. So as I'm walking, my final thoughts about this course is it's a great course. Man, I wish it was closer, just because it takes me about 50 minutes to get out here from my house, which isn't the end of the world, but man, it would be great if this was closer, because it's got a lot of variety. I think it's well done. I like it a lot. It definitely will work on a lot of different shots. James, you did a great job with as far as the distances, the pars. It's one of those where it's fair. If you can keep it in the middle, you can score. It's when you hit early, get off the track, that you've got to really work on your scramble game. But even those, except for a couple places where I just got hemmed in. I think it's very fair. And just a fun course, so many different options, so many different things, and it's just beautiful. And because it's kind of out of the way a little bit, you're gonna probably have the course to yourself for a lot of the time. So if you're wanting to get away from it, this might be a great place to do it. All right, last hole, let's see what I can do with this final approach shot. In honor of the remix bag, I'm gonna finish with the Eldritch. And I'm really liking the remix disc. The biggest thing is I need to beat up and season in some of my behemoths. There's just not a lot of long distance drivers, and I don't have anything really flippy. And that's the one thing I kind of wish I had a little bit more faster, flippier stuff. That tree got me scared and I pushed it out. All right, for my own sanity, I threw the Eldritch because it was the right thing to do, but not what I want to do. Let me see what I would have done with the range. Yeah, yep. It's always that mental game, isn't it? Always a mental game. I threw the crap out of that Eldritch past it. That's what I'm noticing, is that Eldritch goes farther than I'm expecting it to. Not a bad thing, just got to get used to it. One last hill I got to climb, and of course I throw it past it, so I got to climb a little higher. So what do you think, folks? In my mind, I lay up, I have a good score. But it's kind of I go for it, I miss it, I go down the hill. I already got one bogey, so it's not the end of the world, but it would stink to end on that note. I'm gonna go for it, but I'm not happy about it. Could you tell I chicken armed that one? I just couldn't commit to the full send. Dang it. Right on line. All right, well, there you go, guys. Once again, I really like let me get down here. Ooh, a little seat. Once again, guys, I really like this course. Please put it on your to-do list, your bucket list, if you're coming through the Alabama area and have a chance. Listen, I think if you played Inverness, then this, then Cactus Rock, you will go. I've played some courses around here because they all just will work you. And so anyway, that's all I got for today. Thank you so much for coming around with me. Welcome to 2025. I'm excited to see what this year has to offer, and I hope to see you out on the course.